Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, we're reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, text 10. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashrita bhavo gnana tapasa bhutamadbhavam akata. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So, how many of you have read the Bhagavad Gita as it is? Okay, so it might be worth doing a short 5 minutes, because we're reading from chapter 4. It might be worth doing a quick 5 minutes on the relevant parts of chapter 1, 2 and 3, just so that you can grasp what's happening in chapter 4. So in chapter 1, we had the two armies on the battlefield at Kurukshetra, the biggest war in history of mankind. Have you ever imagined, has anybody ever been by the ocean, either by the sea or in a boat overlooking the ocean on all four sides? What do you see when you look out in the ocean? You just see, as far as the eye can see, you can just see the ocean, the sea, the water. You scan from left to right, all you can see as far as the eye can see is the ocean, the water. Now imagine that, rather than being water, they were warriors. As far as the eye can see, there are warriors. Scan from left to right, all you can see for miles and miles is millions and millions, tens of millions of warriors, all prepared for battle. Some of them are on foot, some of them are elephants, some of them are on big carriages, there's animals, there's all sorts of weapons, and on both sides there's this scene. So in the first scene, Krishna is on the chariot of Arjuna. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of everything in the material world, the source of everything in the spiritual world, the creator, the maintainer, the destroyer, the Supreme Personality. He is taking a very humble position as the chariot driver for Arjuna. Arjuna is leading the war on behalf of his elder brother Yudhishthira on the side of the Pandavas. And up against them there is Duryodhana and the Kauravas. And in the first chapter, Arjuna is not an ordinary warrior. Not only is he a great warrior, but he's a devotee. And not only is he a devotee, but he's a devotee to the level that he's a personal friend of God. And he's there in his chariot, and the war's about to start, and he's saying to Krishna, take me out in front so I can see who is here. And he sees who's there, and he starts to lose the will to fight, not out of fear. He has no fear because He has single-handedly won so many wars, not only against humans, but against celestials that are so much more powerful. He's won so many wars single-handedly. He's the bravest of all warriors. So he wasn't fearful of his life or the war. He was overcome by compassion. And he's expressing his dilemma. He's about to have to lead this fight, and he's overcome by compassion, and he's thinking he cannot fight. And then in chapter 2, he's decided to move from a position of friend of Krishna to disciple of Krishna, and asking him to be his guru, and asking him to instruct him. How do I get out of this? What should I do? And then chapter 3 is all about karma. As many of you would have heard of karma and probably know something about it. It's effectively, there's a reaction for every action, and at every moment we're doing actions. We cannot ever not do actions. Even if when we're sleeping, we're doing actions. So the third chapter is all about karma, and you reap the benefits or the punishments or whatever happens based on what you've done. And then we lead into chapter 4, which is transcendental knowledge. And I will read from the purport, but I'll read in pieces. I won't read the whole purport all in one go. But just before I start, there's a concept that we need to understand at this stage, and it's quite a difficult concept. So I'm going to give you a personal example to try and get a handle on this concept. Okay, so I remember when I was a child in primary school, and it was in this country, and we had to go and eat lunch at lunchtime. So they took us into canteen, and I was thinking, I'm hungry. I'm looking forward to my lunch. And then I sit there, I'm waiting for my lunch. And everyone else, I'm like oblivious of what everyone else is doing. I'm waiting for my lunch. And 10 minutes pass, half an hour passes, 45 minutes pass, 50 minutes pass. It's like 5 minutes before the end of lunchtime. And then the teacher comes along saying, "Are you not eating?" And I say, "I'm waiting for my lunch. I'm waiting for my dinner to arrive." And they say, "It's there in front of you." And I'm looking on the table, I'm looking all around, and I cannot see anything. I cannot see my lunch. And they're saying, "It's there in front of you." I look again, and I cannot see any lunch. I cannot see any food. I'm looking up and down, left and right, but nowhere can I see any lunch. The next day, and then it was time, the bell rang, and it was time to go. The next day, exactly the same happened. The third day, exactly the fourth day, exactly the same happened. The fifth day, somebody said, "This is your lunch. We've spoken to your parents, and they said that you have to eat this." And I said, "What? Where is this lunch? I cannot see it." And then I looked at the others, and then I realised what they were presenting to me as lunch was a plate that had a big lump of meat and 2 portions of what was boiled vegetables. But I'd never seen this before in my life. I was just a small child, maybe like 8 years old. I'd never seen meat like before in my life. So when it was presented to me, I just thought it as maybe it's a plastic object for something for I don't know what purpose. So I never recognised that as food. So why am I saying this? Because we all have our conception of what things are. We have our own conceptions based on our experience in life. Obviously, in that scenario, my experience of life was food is roti shack, food is chapatis, food is sabji, food is rice, food is dal. Never in a million years would I say food is this thing that looks like it should be running around in the field. So the same way we all have our conceptions of in this material world. So we cannot, just like I could not recognise that meat as food, none of us can recognise beyond the material world, beyond the material concept. So we struggle to believe concepts like the soul. We are the soul. So we may be able to accept that because we've heard it from authorities. We may have heard it from our parents and grandparents, but it's quite a difficult concept to understand. As with all things spiritual, as with God himself, it's a difficult concept to understand. Many people will come here and they will see, oh, this is some kind of statue, idol. It's a rare few that would recognise that as God. So this is the concept I wanted you to understand before I get into the verse. So imagine, another example is, imagine there's a child. A child is like very thirsty, and say for like you're the parent or your carer, childs can be like running around. No parent or carer can have both eyes firmly fixed on the child 24 hours a day. So imagine like the child is really, really thirsty and saying, "Mummy, I want a drink. Mummy, I want a drink." But Mummy's very busy because life's like that. There are so many distractions. There may be an important phone call. Somebody may be at the door. They might be juggling, doing all sorts of things. Mummy's like, "I'll be there in a minute." And then the child saying, "Well, Mummy said that she bought me some nice treats from the shops. I'm just going to look in her bag to see what's there." And what does she pull out? She pulled out this bottle that's got the word mango written in bold, and it looks like mango, and it's got pictures of mangoes. But what actually is it? It says underneath in smaller letters, shampoo. So the child can't understand the word shampoo, but make out the word mango and you see the picture. So what was she going to do? Going to try and open the top and try and drink it. In the same way, in the material world, everyone's got a hole in their heart, and they're trying to find things, just like that child had a thirst, and they're trying to quench their thirst, which what they thought was mango juice, but it was actually something toxic. We are all, in the material, we're all trying to grab the material things, get into material relationships to fill the hole in our heart. But actually, what we're doing is, just like that shampoo was toxic, we're taking in poison. We're actually making our situation so much worse. So we need to understand this. Now, I'll go back to the verse. So, in case you didn't remember the verse, I'll just read that translation again. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So I'm going to read the first paragraph of Srila Prabhupada's purport, and then we'll go into a bit of explanation. As described above, it is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personal nature of the supreme absolute truth. Generally, people who are attached to the bodily conception of life are so absorbed in materialism that it is almost impossible for them to understand how the Supreme can be a person. Such materialists cannot even imagine that there is a transcendental body which is imperishable, full of knowledge, and eternally blissful. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance, and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep this same bodily idea in mind when they are informed of the personal form of the Lord. So we all have attachments. Sometimes we're aware of them, sometimes we don't. What kind of attachments do you think we have? Anybody care to shout out? Any offers? So what is an attachment? Maybe that will help. An attachment is like a deep bond. We have a deep bond with things in the material world. So it may be people. We may have an attachment to children, parents, relatives, friends. There may be some that we feel exceptionally close to. We have attachment to animals. So many people will love their pets so much that they would die if something happened to their pets. We have attachment to money. Doesn't everybody have attachment to money? Everybody wants more and more money. May have attachment to places. People may love their homes or love certain places where they go on holiday, or they just find safe places which they love. People have attachments to their car, or maybe their iPhone, or even they could be not so gross things, but subtle things like ideas, thoughts they're attached to. And because people we're so materially attached, some are like excessively attached, and they're thinking, okay, well, I don't need God. I'm quite happy doing everything that I am. I've got plenty of money. I've got a nice house, nice car. I've got a beautiful wife, wonderful children. I've got fame. I've got everything. I don't need God. I am God, they will think. But we have to remember that everything, every single one of these things that I've mentioned, all of these attachments, they are all temporary at some point in time. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 10 years' time, it could be the end of this current life. They will all disappear. We won't have it. If we see in this world, there are so many people that have won the lottery and won excessive riches. But we know from the statistics that almost all of them, apart from a tiny, tiny minority, they all have lost their wealth very quickly. So it's the same for us, and I'm sure that everyone's experienced things that they've attached to that you've all lost. And that will continue. So what do we have to do? We have to hold on to what's permanent, not what is temporary, what is good for us. So we need to drink the real mango juice, not the shampoo. So Arjuna was there and he didn't want to fight. In the Mahabharata, many of you have probably seen or heard or read or even discussed the Mahabharata. Dhritarashtra had so much attraction for his son, his eldest son, Duryodhana, that he had so much excessive attachment that he overlooked. His son was committing so many atrocities, so many crimes, the worst kind of crimes that you could imagine. But because of his excessive attachment to his son, he overlooked everything and even helped in some of those things. So people who are too materially attached cannot even imagine. If they came here, they wouldn't even be able to imagine that this is God, the source of everything, the all-powerful. And what happens to those people that are excessively attached. And we can all we have attachments, we're all going to have attachments, but we mustn't be excessively attached. So, if you remember in the verse, it said being freed from attachment, fear and anger. So fear and anger are the consequences, or they are two of the consequences of attachment. So I'll read the next paragraph in the purport. So, for such materialistic men, the form of the gigantic material manifestation is supreme. Consequently, they consider the supreme to be impersonal. And because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality after liberation from matter frightens them. So, because being excessively attached, they cannot accept that there is a God, and because of what they've experienced in their life, they don't want to, after death, they don't want to live as a person again, because they associate being a person will face all the miseries and the sufferings and the anxieties that we had when we were here. So they get frightened of being a person again. So they want to see the Lord as the gigantic manifestation, which is an energy of the Lord, but it's not Krishna, it is not the Lord himself. It's just an energy of his. And some of them will go for that, and they may even succeed in that. They endeavour for it, and they desire it so much. But then they just in this nothingness. So if you can imagine the sun. So we can see, actually we can't actually see the sun. We can just see this bright thing in the sky that looks yellow or orange or red, depending on the day. But we can see the effulgence of the sun rays coming down. So they want to merge into that, like merging into the sun rays. Then there's the next group of people who feel angry because they're so frustrated with their material life, and because they're so frustrated, and they heard so many different arguments, so many religious arguments and theories and practices, but they heard speculation. They never heard the absolute truth, because there is so much speculation out there. And because they heard all of this, they got frustrated that this doesn't agree with this and this doesn't agree with that. And they're just like fed up and thinking, oh, what can I do? And so they just resort to intoxication because they feel like there's nothing else in life except intoxication. And that's their downfall. So move on. We don't want to be in those camps where we're falling into intoxication, and we don't want to be merging into the sun rays. What we want to do, we want to have what we're meant to do, because we are souls. And what's the nature of a soul? The nature of a soul is to love and be loved. And when we feel loved, don't we feel happy? When we feel loved a lot, don't we feel happy and blissful? And when we love others, we feel happy. When you love your children, you feel happy with them. And when your children are expressing their love back, then you feel even more happy. And it's the same way with Krishna, because Krishna is the source of love. Love is his energy. And Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of love. So, and that is the love that we're souls, so we're a part of him, so we have the same nature as him. Just like they say, a drop of water has the same nature as the ocean. So we're like the minute drops of water. We have the same qualities as him. So we're also full of love, and we're full of desire to be loved. That's all we want. We want to give love and receive love. Sometimes we see a little bit of that coming out, and the more we connect with Krishna, we see that come out more and more. But a deeply entangled materialist cannot understand this. They cannot understand love because sometimes they haven't even experienced love. There are so many children in this world where they come into the world and they've never experienced love because they've just been mistreated. Okay, I'm going to give you another example, another personal example. When I was a child, all I saw about in people was everyone was out there to harm you. So I developed this fear of people, and I had this fear of people until I was about 18 years old. So, and that's another example of we have our own concept, but based on our experiences, all we can understand is what is within our experiences. So because I had only experienced that everyone was out to harm you, so I didn't understand the word love. I thought that was just a make-up word that was in books and films, a load of old rubbish. But fortunately, I experienced the supreme love from Krishna now. But again, there's so many people like that, and they don't experience that. So what's the consequence then? They have anger and frustration. And what do we need to do? The next step is what we need to do is, I'll read the next part of that translation. So we went to being freed from attachment, fear and anger. The next part is being fully absorbed in me. So what does it mean? And the me here is because it's Krishna speaking, saying being fully absorbed in Krishna. What does it mean to be fully absorbed in Krishna? Does anyone have any guesses or like to say? So it's not just about thinking about Krishna. It's about thinking constantly. If you're fully absorbed in something, you're always thinking about it. So when you think about someone's in love with someone else, a young boy or girl is in love with someone else, what are they doing? They're constantly thinking about that person. That's all they think about all day and all night. So that's being fully absorbed. So we need to become fully absorbed in Krishna. So that means we're not just thinking about him in the morning or when we come to the temple, but we're thinking about him all the time. We're thinking about him in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night time. We wake up at night and we just like thinking about him. That's where we want to reach, but it will take time. So we just want to, and the more we learn about him, because he's the most beautiful person in the world. He's the most amazing person in the world. He's got all the most amazing qualities in the world because he's the source of all the great qualities in the world. So how can he not be? When you see all the film stars and the great football heroes and cricket heroes and see all the superheroes in the children's comic book films, etc., all these superheroes that we look up to and admire, or sports heroes, or actors and actresses, or whatever they're good at, musicians, we look up to them and we think they're superheroes. But where have they got their qualities? They've all got their qualities and their talents from Krishna. So if we can admire and remember, people remember their football team 24 hours a day. But where do the football team get their talent from? From Krishna. He's taught them how to play football. He's given them that natural ability. So he's the original source of all that. So why would we not turn to him because he's the source of our talents and our skills. Everyone in this room has got talents and skills. You all know things that you're good at and things that you're not so good at. The things that you're good at and things that in your family people are good at, that's all come from Krishna. So he's the source of everything that is brilliant, beautiful, wonderful. So the more we learn about him, and how do we learn? We're naturally going to get more attracted to him. And how do we learn about him? We read and we hear. So the more that we read books like the Bhagavad Gita as it is. We read books like the Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you look in the bookshop here and in the shop as well, you see so many books about Krishna. There are thousands of books written about Krishna, and they're all beautiful, whichever one you read. And the more you read, you're going to fall in love. And also hear, because sound vibration was the source of how the whole universe was created. Sound vibration is how the whole universe will be destroyed. So sound vibration is the start and the end. So it's the most powerful form there is. So the more you hear about Krishna, the more you will learn, and the more you will love Krishna, and the more you will become, as it says in the verse, be fully absorbed. And the more you become fully absorbed, the more your life will become perfect. We have so many problems, so many problems in material life. And we're trying to fix them all the time. We're trying to fix them. But when we're trying to fix them, sometimes we think, oh, that worked nicely. Sometimes we think, that did not work at all. Sometimes we think, oh, no, it's gone 10 times worse or 1,000 times worse. But actually, even when we think it's fixed, it's a temporary fix. The only way we can solve our materials problems is with spiritual solutions. Spiritual solutions mean turning to God, turning to Krishna. So that's what we need to do. So I'm going to read the next part of the verse. So we've got past of being freed from attachment, fear and anger, and being fully absorbed in me. So the next part says, and taking refuge in me. So what does it mean to take refuge in Krishna? Taking refuge in Krishna, taking shelter of Krishna. So we're talking about complete and absolute dependence upon him for guidance, our guidance and protection. So I see one small child in front of me. So when that child is going to be fearful or scared or even hungry for food or thirsty, who's the child going to turn to? The child will naturally turn to its mother. They'll just turn to its natural, because the child feels totally safe and protected in his mother, with their mother. The child feels complete dependence on mother. And so long as they're with their mother, there is no fear. They know that I'm not going to go. They don't have to worry about food and water or anything, because they've taken complete shelter of their mother or sometimes their father. And just like we are like that small child, and we need to take complete shelter of our Supreme Mother and our Supreme Father there, because only them can protect us. There are so many wars going on. There are so many robberies going on. There's so much violence in the world. Even we're here in India especially, even people barging into temples and causing all sorts of havoc and harming people. So nowhere is safe, but we're always safe when we take full shelter of Krishna. But we're not going to take full shelter straight away. We're going to gradually take shelter. And the more, as we gradually take shelter, we're going to reap the rewards, and we're going to feel happier, and we're going to feel safer. And we're not going to worry about all the things that we worry about at the moment. Everyone's full of worries at the moment. Wherever you go, wherever you see, and you say, how are you? And they're just thinking about this problem and that problem and the other problem and a million other problems, and they're thinking, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine. Or they'll say, not so bad. But it's there. Problems are there because this material world is a place of problems and suffering and misery. So they're always going to be there. We can never run away from them. People try to run away from them. They go on holiday. They go and escape. They watch Bollywood movies because that's an escape. That's a running away, a form of running away. So that's what we need to do. And the best way of taking shelter, taking refuge of the Lord, is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please chant with me, put your arms in the air. This is how we take shelter of Krishna. Now chant loudly, call out like you're drowning in the middle of the ocean and you've got no chance of survival, and the only person that can save you is Krishna. Chant with me, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. How did that feel? Good. You need to chant like that. The more you chant like that, the more you'll feel Krishna protecting you, because he's right there with you. He's right next to you. We're like a little soul, like so big, and he's so big, and they're right next to each other. He's constantly with us. So when we shout that, and he's also in every one of us. So when we're all shouting, he's hearing it from all of us. And then he will come. 100% he'll come. 100% he's there because he loves us. He loves us so much. We cannot even comprehend how much he loves us. So he has to come. So I'm going to move on to the next part of the verse. Many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me. So many persons in the past. So this is not just words. This has actually happened. Saying there's so many people that has happened to. And if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's filled with stories of people that this happened to. And if you speak to the devotees, there's so many people there's people that have been here in this temple room that has happened to. And it's happened to so many people. It's real, it's alive. And the more we can learn about them from hearing from these books, we can learn about it from hearing from the devotees. And we can see it, people that walked with us, talked with us, played with us, sang with us, danced with us, and they've achieved perfection. And then the last part of the verse, it says, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So that is the end of that's the result. When we get fully absorbed in Krishna, then that's what happens to us. So we've got 10 minutes left. I've got a bit of a poetic summary of everything that I covered in the class today. So I'll read that first, and then we'll probably have another few minutes left if anybody'd like to ask any questions. So, due to our material contamination, we are overcome by illusion. Now you have to like listen carefully, otherwise you're going to lose it. Due to our material contamination, we are overcome by illusion, falsely believing our body, mind, and senses as the basis of our identification, which results in our always craving sense gratification. which leads to anger in challenging situations and ultimately in a life of frustration. A major impediment to a life of devotion. This becomes a great obstruction for our spiritual liberation. In such a dreadful situation, we must take shelter of the Supreme Person. Chant the holy names with love and attention. Read, hear, ask questions, and engage in discussion on the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. With great determination, we need to follow the guidance and instruction and seek the mercy and compassion of elevated pure souls who have mastered this path of devotion. Only then can we be certain of reaching transcendental perfection, full surrender to Krishna, eternal bliss and ecstasy in devotion. Hare Krishna. So we've got a few minutes left. If anybody would like to ask any questions, comments, corrections, criticisms, comments, anything, if you wish to. Okay, that's fine. I hope you, those of you that heard the class, I hope you benefited from the class. I hope you got something out of it. And I wish you the utmost well wishes in your spiritual journeys, and hope to see you more often here. Please come as often as you can. Please come and take this. This is a very special place, and you're all very special people in the fact that you've come here, because nobody comes here by accident. You've been chosen to come here. Krishna has chosen you to come here, and by coming here, you're getting some of his mercy. So please come more and more often. And when you come, of course, please take darshan, join the arti, pay your respects, offer whatever you can. But also, try and take advantage of all the other things that are going on around the temple. Try and join the community and do a little bit of volunteering. Try and go on some of the courses if you can. There are so many courses. There's something that appeals to everyone, no matter what you're interested in. There are so many courses available where you can learn about Krishna or learn to play an instrument. There are so many retreats to sacred places where you can come with a guide, a spiritual guide that will take you around. There are so many things that you can get involved in. Whatever your talent is, whatever you're good at, you can use it for Krishna. You can just come and speak to the volunteer office here, because this is a big organisation, this is a big place. We have so many grounds, there's so many things that happen behind the scenes. And whatever you're good at, you can use that in service of Krishna. So, thank you all. Hope to see you again soon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.